Perk, kicking it off with you, though. Do you believe the T-Wolves are going to sweep the Nuggets?
Hell yeah, I do. Hell yeah, I do. Let me explain something to you, Molly.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When Anthony Edwards speak, I believe him because I trust him. After game 2, he said in his interview, we know that the Nuggets, they're the defending champs. They're going to come into game 3 and they're going to be punching. But guess what? We punch back. And he ain't lying. When you think about this Minnesota Timberwolves team and that defense, they're trying to bring bold to you. And you know what bold is, Molly? I just learned this word.
No,
it's
tell
the
me.
suburban word for the word pain. That's what this Minnesota Timberwolves team is trying to do. They're trying to bring pain. They are going to bring pain. It's going to be rocking in that arena. They have no answer for that defense. Right now, Jokic is shooting 42% from the field. 42%. Karl Anthony Towns is still going to be there. Naz Reid is going to be there. And by the way, they get back Rudy Gobert tonight. So that defense is still going to be on their heels like a pair of church socks. I got the T-Wolves finishing this off in 4. The Denver Nuggets will get swept.
You know, Perk, it's hard for me to argue with you because there are so many numbers and stats, and the way the two teams have looked out on the floor, the response from Jamal Murray off the court, everything points to Minnesota, and I get that. Nikola Jokic is 1 of 8 when Naz Reid is the primary defender in the 2 games. Like, I get it, but there's something in me that thinks there is no way the defending champions with the MVP get swept. I actually don't think they win game 3. I think they win a desperate game 4. The Timberwolves still win the series, but there's no way. I know it's happened in the past. I know there have been champions that get swept the next season. I know that. But there's just no way Nikola Jokic wins MVP. His team is trying to repeat as champions. They were the favorite by most people coming in. There's just no way they get swept. In a desperate game 4, I have the Nuggets winning.
You know, if this was last year Denver Nuggets team, I would roll with you, Andraya. It's not. Jeff Green is not there. Bruce Brown is not there. And so what you have is a situation where you have a whole bunch of dudes that are still on the squad, recognizing what they experienced and the fact that they're champions, but in the same breath, ill-equipped to do as much about it as they once could. I'm looking at a Minnesota Timberwolves squad. What don't they have for these Denver Nuggets? You don't have a size advantage over them. You don't seem to have a perimeter shooting advantage over them. And dare I say that the now 3-time league MVP hasn't even been the best player on the court. We know that ain't true. We know that's been Anthony Edwards. And we also know that he's been guarded by Karl Anthony Towns. Mind you, Andraya, they blew them out of their own building without Rudy Gobert, a now 4-time Defensive Player of the Year award winner. Blew them out of the gym. So I'm looking at them right now. You got size at every position. You got athleticism. You got shooting ability. You got rebounding prowess. You got defensive prowess. And they have gotten all of them. I said this the other day. I remember game 1 in 1995-96 season, I believe I remember correctly, when the Bulls had lost to Orlando the previous year and beat Chicago and sent Michael Jordan home, carried Horace Grant on their shoulders and all of this other stuff. And Nick Anderson was rendered this hero. And then Michael Jordan then went out and got Dennis Rodman. And in game 1 of that Eastern Conference Final Series the following year, they beat Orlando like 121-83. They annihilated them. And it got to a point where you had certain cats on Orlando Magic that was scared to dribble the basketball because Jordan and that defense was draped all over them. I haven't seen defense like that since until game 2, the first half the other night. They were all over Denver. They could do nothing. Nothing. It would be one thing if somebody just goes off and Anthony Edwards drops 50. All right, fine. That ain't going to happen in another game. Fine. But that wasn't what happened. They were put under lock and key, and I don't know how they get over that. I got Minnesota sweep.
I understand. I know The Nuggets looked horrible. The Nuggets looked like they wanted to run and hide. The Nuggets look like, you're a boxing person. You know how in boxing they're like, don't ever turn your back. Like when you're just unloading on somebody, and then they turn their back. That's what the Nuggets have looked like at times. I get it. Maybe for me, it's just that there is no way, for pride alone, there's no way they don't fight to scrap and claw and win one game. It might be by 1 point. It might be by 2 points. I'm just like, there's no way. There's no way.
But see, Andraya, this is more so, it's less about the Nuggets and more about Minnesota. See, if the Nuggets was playing anybody else, especially the Lakers, because the Lakers were up on the Nuggets, 3 games out of the series by double figures. And see, the Lakers were the ones who was fighting and they were getting the best of the Nuggets. Then all of a sudden they stopped and they gave them a hug. See, the Timberwolves, when they come out, they go get the fighting and they want to knock you out. They're going to knock you out. They're going to drop you, and they're going to stand on business with it. And I'm here to tell you right now, Anthony Edwards, he give a lot of praise in these interviews to Jokic and saying that he's the best player on the floor. He believes he's the best player on the floor. He believes that this is his moment. And guess what? I believe him. After what he did to the Phoenix Suns and then followed up on the road in Denver back-to-back games with his leadership, the way that he has Karl Anthony Towns playing on both ends of the floor with his tenacity, Jimmy Butler couldn't pull this out of Karl Anthony Towns. And you said Jamal Murray is not going anywhere. He's going to be available tonight. You know who else is going to be available tonight? Jaden McDaniels. Do you know what Jaden McDaniels said yesterday when Malika Andrews asked him about being the best player in the league? He said, I feel like I'm the best player in the league, but I'm going to pay respect to my guy on my team because he just won the Defensive Player of the Year. Man, this is all about the Minnesota Timberwolves.
They coming for him, and it's gonna be interesting. We gonna learn a lot about Denver in this regard. You're a champion, and Michael Malone did not talk about X's and O's. He talked about their manhood. He talked about their pride. Like y'all, we got our asses kicked. What y'all gonna do about it? And so we gonna learn a lot about Denver tonight in this series. I have no doubt
they ain't gonna
bow down. They ain't gonna bow down. They gonna fight. But damn. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can fight all you want to, but you hitting a brick wall, it's a brick wall.
Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire. It's NBA,